Hi, and welcome to the making of her unapologetically. My name is Trina, aka Trinidad.
And I'm your girl Betty, aka the Betty Suse.
So, we're here today to talk about things surrounding money. Let's preface with. Did you just say I love
You
money?
see it? Money makes the world go round. And I don't love money in an evil way, but like, what is it? But that's the money killer. So,
It's a lot. That is such a very strong. Okay. Let's step back a bit and say this. Let's preface this and say we have no idea what we're doing, but we're here and we're having the conversation because we're trying to get every other person in the room to understand your own perspective as well. So it's not a
yeah.
us saying, it's let's converse, let's talk about it. So today we want to talk about things surrounding financial stress,
Yeah.
things about money, all that kind of stuff. Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah. And I don't think we'll see where, we kind of transition to, but it's not just financial stress, it's the good and the bad of money, right?
Correct.
Because there can be the good
Correct.
and the bad side. Um, let's kick off about or discussing about finances in relationship. It could be friendship, relational, just any shift. And when it comes to the matter of merging money, um,
Mm.
lending, borrowing.
Lending. I do
Yeah, I said
not
borrowing as
I
well.
do not believe in lending. Like the way I see, I'm sorry, I'm jumping into this, but like the way I see like lending is like why get into all that uncomfortableness of it all? Like just find out what's your comfortable limit
Yeah,
and freely give
right.
and forget about it. Because no matter what anybody has told me till date, once you start talking about borrowing money, lending money, it just gets messy. I don't know whether that's the same experience with that you've had as well too.
So you believe that any money you give somebody or let somebody should
Let
be
it
finances
go. Let it
are
go.
frozen.
Not even kidding.
So
Oh
you
my
believe
god.
any money that you give out or lend out should be money that you are okay if you don't get it back.
Listen, in several locations. Let me just put it this way, because let's just make it hypothetical.
Mhm.
Somebody comes to you and tells you, "Hey, I need $5,000." Bro, I can't give you that, but guess what?
Mhm.
X amount is what I'm comfortable with,
Yeah.
and I'm giving you this freely.
Okay.
It's just a one and done thing. There's no rinse and repeat. There's no, hey, so this date you're meant to give me.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't give me. I'm getting upset. Boo. Then we now start saying, ah, this person is not being honest. He's not being legit, or she is not being legit. Let's not just say he. She is not being legit.
I feel
Oh,
like
she's
first
hiding
from
from me.
experience.
Oh, she's hiding from me. Oh, she's not hiding from me. Why isn't she taking my call? What is this? What is this? Oh, when you could have just solved it all, even if it's $5 you can afford.
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but even though it's $5 you can afford, give it and be
Forget it.
done with it.
Yeah.
Be done with it. It just gets messy. What about you?
I'm kind of straddling the middle
Okay.
because I get where you're coming from. I see that um, money has broken a lot of relationships. Money has been the cause of many not nice things. However, you do also hear stories of like people talking about getting their big break because somebody believed in them enough to give them or front them what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I don't know if you know the artist Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
So he's one of, I feel like he's so underrated. His music is but what I'm trying to say is his first breakout hit.
Okay.
It was a friend of his, the story he tells. It was a friend of his that gave him the money, that believed in his dream enough, that lent him the money to be able to pay for studio time, to be able to pay for everything he needed to now release that song.
Okay.
And that is what literally catapulted him into the music industry. And on the man blow. So
Okay.
I'm a believer that God will use anybody to bless you. Okay. But he needs willing participants. Right? So that's why I say I straddle the middle a little bit because, yeah, see, I don't want to be chasing you for something you did not chase me to give you. 100%.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. You didn't run after me to give you the money. Why do I have to run after you to get it back? But at the same time, there might be something, I might see a talent in you that you have. Maybe you are limited on funds, but the Trina that I know this girl, if she has the resources to do this thing, it will blow.
But that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, how like this is where you always say, I wish I was a fly on the wall where this happened, because I truly feel that person was buoyant enough. Let me sound very, very African. That person was buoyant enough to be like, I'm going to help this person. And I can, in some part of my mind, I'm like, could it be that even this guy didn't, if he did not end up blowing, would the person who actually like backed him up be offended, or would he have just been like, you know what, we tried?
But think about it though.
Did he really lend, or did he just freely give?
I was not there. This
Yeah.
is just him explaining because it was an interview. Somebody was asking how he got his start, and that's where he shared this that
Yeah.
he was like down to nothing, and a friend helped him out to give him the funds for him to make that record. Doubled, I think it's called.
Okay.
And so I don't know if the guy just said, "Here, take, don't pay me back," or "Here, take, you now basically like." That's a good point though, because now he has that added pressure to make it.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
It's not. It's not. I'm not even. That is a whole different conversation.
Yeah, but I feel like where it
Yeah.
ties in is we're talking about finances and relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Because it could have gone the other way. And again, I'm not a fly on the wall in their relationship. I don't know what's going on with them. It could have been a situation of, when he made it, did he just pay the guy back what he borrowed him? Did he give him more? That's like going that's going into a rabbit hole, 100%. But I feel like you can make investments in so many different ways.
Yes.
Right? A lot of the times, and major investors, they say this, a lot of times in that you're often investing in the people, not necessarily the thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? And so that's where I guess, again, for me, I straddle the middle because I can see a person, I can see they have something, and if I have those means to invest in what they're doing, I am okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because humans are humans, do I now introduce the aspect of contractual agreement? Would that make you feel some type of way?
I don't know. When somebody wrote, I don't know who sat down and thought about this, because it's in the Bible, it's everywhere, it's at the tip of our tongue when they say money is the root of all evil. That person
is the love of money. That's the root of all evil.
Can we just
everything must start and end with money?
Okay. Negative. Because money is good. Like Betty says, she loves money.
I don't understand. Do we not need to pay our bills?
We
do.
Need
to pay Carlo.
Girl,
now you're looking fine. Isn't that
down. We are not in a sort of law where you're explaining to me why you need to pay bills. No, I'm just saying, for me, we're old enough to say that we've seen a lot of different, how do I say, dynamics around money. So for me, I choose peace. I'm always trying to choose peace. So the question is, in a situation about lending, where is the peaceful path? The path for me is, this is what I can afford. Let it go. Be done with it.
Okay.
sorry. I just took
Do you
Taboo.
preface it to the person you're borrowing that if they pay you back, it doesn't concern you? Or is that just a mental note you give yourself that if this comes back, great?
Both occasions, both,
Okay.
both, actually. Because yeah, I did have a friend that going through hard times. She asked for some stuff. I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna give, but even if she doesn't pay, fine.
Mentally.
And there are some family members like or whatever, and I'm like, we're just gonna give.
Okay.
We're just gonna give. This is what we can afford. We're just gonna give,
Mhm.
and that's it. So both cases, but I'm every single time. For me, my own mental contract with myself is if it doesn't come back, it's a okay.
Right.
If it doesn't come back, it's a okay. That's it. So yeah,
Okay.
that was the bad part. Let's talk about the good part. That was not.
No, but no, we can actually transition from there. So you're saying if it doesn't come back, it's a-okay.
Yeah.
So what if it's in cases, because not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody has a perspective that I'm only going to give when I'm willing to let go.
Yeah.
How would you now have those conversations when somebody says to you, I'll pay you back Monday. And then Monday come, Monday go, money still has
You
not
don't
landed.
concern me.
No, I know. I'm not talking about you. I'm asking you to look at it from a different perspective of when it's not an amount you're willing to let go, but you
Yeah.
just gave it out of good faith because you believe in that person. But now it's taking, like I said,
Yeah.
you're not running after them to give you what they did not run after you. How do you not have those conversations? Side note, so I challenge you. How would you have those conversations?
Let me see here. Honestly, so this is an example, and this is not really about lending. This is more about a situation with money that happened.
Okay.
So when I moved from Nigeria to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
there was some salary that was being owed to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was guaranteed it was going to be paid. Everything was going to be a-okay. Keep on moving. It's going to be sent to you. Blah, 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 blah. Come, you know what I mean? I already knew the end of it all, right? Even as if I'm talking about it right now, you know that Yawa gas.
If I told you I don't experience that same thing in this country,
Oh my god. That is interesting. You need to tell us about this. Um, I started reaching out.
Yeah.
The deadline of sending money reached. It's like, okay, I'm waiting for this. And then keep in mind, I was a student, so I actually did
You
need
needed it, yeah.
that. I mean, I was like, I reached out to the person. I'm like, hey, what's going on? This. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
I will get back to you.
And that we'll get back to you just kept on rolling and rolling and rolling. At some point, I was like, this is not worth my time. It's never coming back to me. There's no, like, I don't know about you, but do you know that this was just like maybe last year or 2 years ago? I finally realized that except I'm calling in the police to come and help me.
Yes.
Do you know I cannot use my mind like like in like what do you call it now? Marvel movies where Professor X is using his mind to make somebody do something or whatever. I as an adult I have finally come to peace with the fact that I cannot mentally make somebody do what they don't want to do. So tying me back to this money thing, I can't make that person pay me that money.
So there's not even a point to have a conversation, you feel?
What am I doing here?
Right.
Why? Do you know what? Like that's where I'm at now in life. Is like
Right.
it's not worth it for me. In the truth is, if somebody wants to stiff
People
you
will
so to
do
speak,
what
they
they want
would.
to do, especially adults. Adults will do what if they want to pay you back, they pay you back. If they don't, they knew from the start they weren't going to pay you back.
And the funny thing is, I had the friend who lended money from me, like, or lent money. Is that correct? Jesus Christ. We're gonna cut that out.
English.
English is hurting me. But the lady who like borrowed money from me, she's borrowed money from me like 3, 4 times.
Mhm.
Every single time she's paid back
Yeah.
on time. No issues, no stress. Fantastic.
Everything is
Do you know what I
status
mean?
quo.
That goes back to the kind of person she is.
Mm,
Like she's an honorable person.
right.
Next time around, she rolled around and says, "Hey Trina, could you?"
That
Absolutely.
confidence has been
But I will never learn something that I'm not comfortable to let go of.
right.
And that's just my own mental, like, peace of mind kind of thing.
That makes sense.
So,
That makes
what
sense.
about you?
Like I said, call me Switzerland. I'm in the middle. I'm like I said, there's the aspect of, all right, am I comfortable with this? Am I okay letting it go if it doesn't come back to me? But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, if I know this person, if there's history there and I
Mm,
understand what they're going through
okay.
right now,
Okay.
I think that history kind of speaks for itself. You know, the concept of how your name can be spoken about in rooms you're not even in because, your gosh, what's that word? Your reputation, precedes
Precedes
you,
you. Yeah.
right? And so I think in aspects like that, just like how you said, with that lady, you would still borrow,
Mm-hmm.
but you would give an amount you're comfortable with. I think for me, I'd be willing to give an amount I'm not comfortable with
Interesting.
because, again, your reputation precedes you, every single person. So if I understand what your history is, if I know what your track record has been, and you just hit a hard time,
Okay.
I am willing to take that bet on you.
Okay.
If that makes
No,
sense. And the reason why
absolutely.
I'm saying that is because I'm pretty sure at different times in my life, I can think of where I can count the time that somebody took a chance on me or bet on me,
Mm-hmm.
even if they didn't have to.
Okay. No, makes sense. Makes
Right.
sense.
So that's where I think I have that comfortability, not to the point where I can't pay my bills. That's different. That's just irresponsible. In this country, nobody has time for that. The bank will not say, "Hey, yeah, you gave your friend money. Help, it's okay. Pay your mortgage next week." They won't say that to you. So I will never do it to that extent.
Okay.
I need to have a level of financial security,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And financial security can mean something different to everybody, and we'll transition to that next. But like I said, I'm more in the middle. I can lean to either side, but it depends on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Some Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street can't. Where do I know you from? That's a different conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
So if we wanted to shift gears here, because I feel like what we just did right now, talking about lending, was maybe, you know how like those crystal ball moments where it's like, you know,
suits.
no, like lesson learned about money. So
Right.
different situations will affect your idea of money.
Yeah.
I would say, when do you think it's important? Like, in what situation do you think it's important to have those money conversations?
With
With it depends. It doesn't matter. Like, that's what we want to talk about now. Like
yeah,
high level money conversations or money situationships. I don't know how else to even break it down.
um, well, of course, in a romantic relationship, I think it's a conversation that you always need to have
When?
because
When? When?
there's never a good time.
Think
You
so?
need to make time for it.
Good. That's true.
Because
That's true.
finances is one of the there's many different things in terms of like why relationships break down. Finances, communication,
Yeah.
forget what the other one the experts say, but money day.
Yeah.
So there's never a good time where you can wake up and say, "Oh, the sun is shining. This sounds like a good day to talk about the money in the bank." There's never. Bills are coming. Things are happening. There's
Mhm.
job loss. There's job gain. There's constant shifts. So you need to grow a pair, be an adult, and realize that this is a real aspect of your life, and you need to have these conversations,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
And you can start small. Like for example, something me and my husband we had to start doing was we dedicate the last Saturday of every month to sit down and talk
Ooh.
about finances. We talk about current debts. What are financial goals? What are we aiming to do? Is this what we're prioritizing? Is there
Okay.
do we have this debt currently on the table that we want to prioritize to snowball and get rid of this? All things being equal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is what the plan is. We weren't there before. It
Mhm.
was things would happen, things would come up. It would be an awkward conversation or an awkward situation where we would deal with it in that moment. And I took a step back. I was like, we don't like you.
Okay.
I can't do this anymore. So I was like, okay. And I PM'd the crap out of it. I was like, all right, we're going to have a plan. We're going to figure out. And this is the day. It is a calendar invite. If we're fighting, if we're not fighting, it is a calendar invite.
Make yourself
I can
available.
sit here. I can sit here. You can sit there. If you want to sit outside, I want to sit on the beach and call on the phone. We are going to have this conversation because again, the bank doesn't care that you're fighting with your husband or your wife. Bills are due. Your goals and your dreams don't care that you and your partner are quarreling. Those goals precede whatever temporary thing you guys are dealing with right now, right? So that's why I say it has to be mandatory or non-negotiable because if and it was who did I hear say this? So somebody I heard say this that you're so comfortable sleeping beside this person, you're having intercourse with this person, you're mixing any and everything else, but your money, it's got a lot. Like I'm like, where are we going? Because this no, what I'm saying is the people downplay the importance of
Absolutely.
it, right?
Absolutely.
And so romantic relationship, you need to prioritize it. Friendships. That one is a bit stickier because not every friend or friend relationship mixes their money. It can be a situation where I can see you. I mean, I probably wouldn't have those types of people in my life, but let's say this is you guys say peradventure. I have somebody like that in my life that
How is it that we always go back to our African roots anytime we want to deeply express the way it's painting?
no, but like let's say for some weird reason I found a friend in my life that the things they're doing doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I cannot, in good conscience, call myself a friend
Okay.
and not call you out and say this thing you're doing doesn't make sense.
Ooh.
Because sometimes we can be so deep in whatever it is going on in our life, we have blinders.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like how horses have blinders, and we're not seeing what's around us.
True.
And so I would hope somebody that's a good friend would say, hey, look, this thing you're doing doesn't make sense. I'm not going to sit and tell you what you're supposed to do. I'm just going to call it to your attention that there is a problem. If you now say to me, look, it's a mess. I need help. Can you help me? Cool. Let's sit down. I love a good spreadsheet. I love a good, financial tracker. Yeah? Let's chat about it. I'm not going to force that on you. If it's a relationship of, we're mixing business together, you and I do this. Do we not have a standing calendar invite?
Even if we don't make all of them,
it will somehow come up.
It does.
Weekly in one way or another. Even if it's not on that, what is it, Tuesday, Friday, Thursday, it will happen. We just know that week will not pass where we don't sit and discuss finances.
Absolutely.
And again, that comes to the place of you having to get, or I guess, develop this mentality that money doesn't have to be scary. You can face it head on. Would you rather be a controller of money or have money control you? Right? That's something my pastor always says. So that's why you need to educate yourself. You need to put yourself in a position where it's all right. This is not a perfect picture. However, these are the intentional steps I'm going to take. I'm going to face it. I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to actually prioritize making it work.
So I want to step back a little bit when you mentioned something about like in romantic situations, aka husbands. But I want to say honestly, even with conversations with friends, I'm gonna drop breadcrumbs so you know what I'm all about. Do you know what I mean? I'm not about the Prada, the Gucci, the oh my God, is it Ferragamo? I swear to God, I do not even know all these names. But what I'm saying is, I'm not walking into all these stores because, AKA, ain't nobody got money for that. Let me just say, I'm a humble aunt. But on the other side as well, like, I could be having conversations with colleagues, with friends, and I'm like, this does not faze me. This is me establishing this is just with regular friends, with regular colleagues. Oh, you want to go here? Well, I'm not going to go because it doesn't just fit the kind of person I am. So money conversations when it comes to colleagues, with friends, I'm already dropping breadcrumbs all around to tell you this is not my real estate when it comes to spending money.
Right.
This is not my passion here when it comes to like all the is it D and G, all that stuff. I'm like, I'm not about that life. But also, and this was after I got married and I realized, damn, like this is something I wish and not everybody goes through marriage counseling before marriage,
See,
but
that's a whole other episode.
but
Long and short, do it.
do definitely do it and do it with somebody that knows what they're talking about. It doesn't have to be a religious.
See in marriage.
The questions, the questions. But one thing I realize is that we grow up with a certain type of money psychology.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you here right now. For the longest time, like my dad did very well in life, and I'm going to try my best not to.
You don't need about that.
No, it's not even that. No. No, what for me, doing well in life has always been tied to
Money.
driving a Benz.
I'm not like the African dad.
No, but it wasn't. It's not about everybody else because my dad had a couple, right? So for me, doing well was even I fight that consistently because we wanted to get a new car. I think it was a couple of years ago. And my husband outrightly told me, he's like, "So are you finally over the Benz fever?" And I was like, "I am." But do you know what I'm saying? Like the money, the psychology of money growing up, it grows with you and you have no idea that it's happening. Like you don't, and up till when? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because I think that was when we got the last car. And he was like, "Yeah, so what do we want to get?" He's like, "This is how much the Benz cost. This is how much of this thing." I'm like, "Bro, I don't think we have money for this." But on the flip side of it, though, it was me just understanding like this does not define me. Like this here, this
removing your self-worth and all of that from that.
So I don't know how to explain it, but like, oh,
but that's I feel like that's the whole world though, because and that's why money is such a hot button topic in relationships, because you can grow up with either a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset, right? And that's ingrained in us. And if you grow up from a scarcity mindset, it takes a lot of work and a lot of rewiring to now rework your brain.
An African family. I'm not even kidding. An African setting is always going to be question for you. Question. How many times, like, and I'm not even joking, if you had a cent, and I mean a cent, for every time you ask the question, "Can we have this?" And they said, "There's no money for that."
Oh, that one's.
What did they say to you?
I heard there's no money for, depending on the thing, it's either there's no money for that or it's at home, or will you give me the money for it, which is the synonym of there's no money for that.
And how many times when you ask, "Can I have this?" and they're like, "We'll think about it. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out."
You're lucky you got to "we'll think about it."
No, I did not.
There was no money for that. That was the starting and the ending of the conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the money conversations is just crazy. Like it's just crazy. An African setting, and this is something I try to break as a mom now, is like I do fall into the pits of like my daughter today was like, "So mommy, did you get me my Canada outfit for today?" I'm like, darling, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, you wanted a white and red outfit, and somehow we made it happen. 2 days after, you want a Canadian flag outfit? Go possible. It is not possible.
I don't. Okay, I want to challenge that a bit. I don't think that's a version of there's no money for that. That's a version of understanding that you don't just snap your fingers and you get everything. There
And
has to
that's
be a level of
exactly where I'm
yeah.
getting from. Is like I'm trying to break that pattern of there's no money, oh, there's no money. Then come Christmas time, oh, okay, we got money for everything. But what I'm saying is that for me as a mom,
Yeah.
I want her to understand that yes, money is afforded for certain things,
Mhm.
but like you said, I don't want that to be at the tip of my tongue every single time when it's like, oh, we need this. Let's talk about it. This
Yeah.
is why we can't get this thing,
Yeah.
and this is why we will get this. You
Yeah.
know, that's where it is. But back to the whole thing I was talking about is I find that one thing, and this is why like when we myself and my husband got married,
Mhm.
it was a longer process to understand money as a
Right.
whole because we didn't have the conversation before we got married
Yeah.
about how money, not that how money would be managed exactly, but our strategy
As a union.
as a union.
Yeah, not as two individuals living under the same roof.
He is awesome. Like he is phenomenal. Like I don't want for nothing. The little he has, he makes it happen.
Yeah.
But like throughout school, he always had more than me, so he was always affording everything. But I just found like we just let it, like just like you know how to say the river runs, like the river runs, everything was just going, and
Yeah.
one thing led to another. Oh, we're married, but we didn't even talk about how do we invest.
Yeah.
You know, as an African man will do, he's taking care of most of the bills, and
Mhm.
my funds just somehow went through a
Not
single.
all African men, no, that's not
But like
the
even
average.
when I now started talking about like ETFs,
Mhm.
investing in ETFs, investing in GICs, all that stuff, and GICs is like guaranteed investment, so they give you dividends. So all those type of things, it was such a process because I had to educate myself.
And then you
Then
don't
I
have to
also
educate.
had to educate him. But it's more than that because you are now taking a full grown person and now saying, come cross the finish line with me,
Yeah.
but not that way anymore, this way.
And
Almost,
let go of,
it was work.
and let go of what you know, because let's not kid ourselves. This whole um being open to investing, this whole being open minded to making your money work for you beyond you
Nine
know
to
that
fives,
yeah,
yeah.
9 to 5, because that old school mentality of financial security, right? And I want to chat about that a little bit, what that looks like for everybody, and just the transitions and the different stages it's gone through
Yeah.
throughout the years. The old school mentality of a financial freedom or financial stability, let's use that word.
Mm-hmm.
It was you go to university, you get a good job, you stay there until you retire. As you're working, you're paying your bills and hopefully saving some of it,
Yeah.
right? And then things started changing. People started talking about, well, real estate investing, real estate, put all your money into real estate. It's still very good to put your money in real estate. But then things transition into the form of you need to diversify. You need to
Diversification.
diversification. Don't just put everything in real estate. You can keep your 9 to 5. You can have real estate. You can have, invest in stocks and bonds. So it goes to the not just risk appetite, but rewiring of that brain.
And you hit the nail on the head with that comment about the appetite risk. My husband is like, I want to see where my money is. Just leave it there for me. Just leave it where I could see it, and it's nothing
But I
is
think
happening
that's
to
a
you.
cultural thing, though. Because I know even for me, when I start talking to my own, like mom, for example, about investment and stuff, and the initial thing I thought was, bet, are you sure? And just so innocent and caring of her of her not wanting me, especially with her grandkids, to fall into something that will put us back financially really really bad.
Yeah,
And even my mother, in her 60s, I kept having those conversations with her,
yeah,
and I kept explaining to her, showing her examples. And the same woman that was so not against it, but so concerned as a mother would be, is now asking me if I know of any good things she can invest in. But again, it takes that rewiring because she comes from that generation and comes from a place that you get the good 9 to 5. Granted, it's not, she doesn't just believe in having your 9 to 5. My mother has investment, she has,
Yeah.
assets, she has businesses. So
Yeah.
she's diversified herself, right? But I think it took being here for her mind to fully open up to that,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because her proximity to a lot of um growth or a lot of wealth was people who held high positions. Not
Mm.
necessarily people who had diversification. It was people who held high positions. Her father had a really high position in the school board in Sierra Leone. Cousin is the dean or the president of the school of medicine. This person's an intern. So that's what her proximity was. But what's the root of all that? They all went to university for a billion years and got those good positions, right? But she was able to break that mold and say, no, my financial stability looks like
This.
planting things that will
Mm.
benefit my children and my grandchildren. So I give her props for that because it takes a lot, especially as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
where we come from. Because when men do that, it's oh my God, like right?
What do you call that? What's that? What is that thing? Oh my God, what is that? Okay, I've forgotten it. I wanted to say something really Nigerian,
Or
but
no,
oh, there you go. There you
right? So especially
go.
for a woman to do that, that's her breaking the mold in a way. Um, Staying on the topic of financial stability and what that actually means to everybody,
Mm.
or I'll start with myself. I gave you the example of what financial stability looks like to my mom. I
Mhm.
share a similar image to that, again,
Which
because
is,
of my
can
proximity.
you restate it for yourself?
For myself, it's you can use, how they say you can use your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9 or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a
Okay.
firm believer in not having all your eggs in one basket. I know you believe that as well. So we need to diversify in different ways. You can have the business, you can be in your career, you can have the investments, right? And when I say you can have the business, it's about placing yourself strategically to work on the business, not in the business,
Okay.
right? And working on the business does not take
Mm.
all day, every day. To where, in order for you to have that financial stability,
Yeah.
you can maintain your 9 to 5 as the financial cushion,
Optional.
right? As a financial cushion
Optional. Yeah.
until your business that you're working on, not in, reaches a place of, all right, and this is me personally. It's this is great. This is, the trajectory of the growth year after year is where I want it to be,
Yeah.
right? I'm getting a consistent 5
Yeah.
to 10% growth annually. You see that
Nice.
happen for a
Oh.
few years, and that lets you know that what you're doing on the business is working.
Yeah.
This is great. All right, maybe now I want to work on a new vertical. Now I want to leave my 9 to 5 and focus on this because I have this that has multiple times replaced my 9 to 5.
True.
Let me work on this new
Yeah.
vertical.
That's so true. You said that's actually a very good point you just stated there because for me, honestly up until today, funny enough, I always thought until my side hustle um matches
Mhm.
my like my 9 to 5,
Yeah.
it's all good. But what I learned today is no,
Yeah.
it's more double. It's actually double that you should
Double
be
to triple is the
taking.
comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it matches, you're taking a risk, and I don't know if that's the kind of risk appetite you
Hmm.
want.
But no, I think for me, what's where I see myself in terms of like, I don't know, you know about fire number. So for me, that's the version I'm working with. It's
Mhm.
like when you talk about being comfortable, everything being a-okay. The goal is to
Okay,
use the
I know what it is, but for those watching that may not know what a fire number is, what is a fire number?
uh, how do I break it down? Fire number. Is it financially independent, retire early? That's the meaning of what fire number means. Financially independent, retire early. Essentially, what it is that just go online, type in fire. I want to calculate my fire number. You put in your yearly expenses, you put in all that stuff, you put in the 8% growth for your investment,
Mhm.
and it's meant to tell you your fire number.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody should calculate it. It's very, very important. I just got into it, I think, 4 years ago, thereabout. But my goal right now is to continuously build towards our fire number, my husband's and mine, and the plan right now is okay. When we get there, then that's the first check mark. Like the first unlocking of the door is like, okay, we are finally here, which means we can take care of everything consistently, right? Then why are we working? We're working because kids are expensive. So let's just keep working. But
Girl, my
there's
son wants to
now,
play golf. Oh, and
my
it's expensive.
kids might play tennis. But like, then you start thinking about, okay, you're not too worked up about, oh, some my manager might not be happy with me today and it's bye bye. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot more cushion to it. There's a lot like mentally, and you're not as stressed as you would every other time. So for me, my version of comfort is pushing and getting to my fire number, and that whatever it is, be it side hustle, be it everything, is just funding flex at that point in time. It's funding flex. That's it. But yeah, that's my version. That's my own version, at least right now. And I think to break it down again, just so that people understand, when we talk about important moments of money, we talked about what now? Having strategic meetings on
Yeah.
a revolving what? Period?
Yeah, it can be monthly, it can be semi-monthly, it can be semi, whatever works for you based on your tax bracket.
Absolutely. It involves even having those conversations before you get committed, because it is what it is. We need to. It involves dropping breadcrumbs around friends so that nobody's putting you into situations where it's like, oh, let's split it. No, we are not splitting it. No,
Don't put
no,
me on that
no. We are
podcast.
not going for a girls' trip to St. Lucia when we never talked about it. How? High walk? No, no, no. So those type of things, I think those are important money conversations. Money up, like where money should come up, where you should talk about money and things like that. What else do we want to even talk about? No.
Wait, you said where you should talk about money. What do you mean by that? Like the
Those are
settings
important.
or
Was that?
no, I'm just for clarification on that. Is it the settings that you should talk about money or
Yeah.
the situations? And the reason why I'm asking this follow-up question is because like I just said, you can talk about it monthly, annually,
Mm-hmm.
whatever cadence works for you, but not everybody is willing to jump into that straight away.
Yeah.
So, what would you think are appropriate life events or times that, all right, if you can't keep a strategic or a standing
Mm-hmm.
calendar invite, make these incidents or types of incidents non-negotiables to have those money
Well,
conversations?
we already said that, though. Like, before you get married to anyone,
Yeah.
honestly, let's just keep married somewhere and just say, before anybody moves in with you,
Before you get into bed with anybody, whether it's romantic,
I'm not
friendship,
I
no,
am
what I mean,
not managing anybody's calendar about bed or no bed.
what I mean by that is like before like even starting a business, right? I feel like with a friend, I feel like there's a
Girl,
level of money conversation that needs to happen because not anybody or not many people are starting a
that
business with a
is
bunch of money in the bank.
that is like way up there. It's
Yeah.
actually on the same level as like a partner or a significant other or
Mhm.
whoever you're committed with. The same, because it's the same. It actually is. You know how they say that thing that when you're going into business with somebody, you're actually getting into
Yeah,
business.
that's why I made the statement. That's
Okay.
why I said before you get to
Okay.
because
Yeah.
you're the one funding your dream until the dream starts to fund itself, right? So
Yes.
you have those conversations before you start mixing.
Agree.
Sometimes I've heard that sometimes people might come and say, "Oh, this person has a great idea, and we're going to test it out." Okay, cool. But what's the money looking like?
Yes. Agree.
Because when you guys hit those hard times, can they pull their weight, or is it all going to fall on you?
Mm, yeah.
Right? So that's why I said before you get into bed with anybody in whatever fashion,
Situation.
you need to have those conversations because, again, kind of bring you back in the conversation of risk appetite. For you, your financial stability might be so important that what you're bringing to the table in this new venture
Yes.
may not be as much as the other person is willing to bring.
Absolutely.
And if that's the case, you need to now have that conversation of what is this dynamic going to be? If you're bringing most of the money, I need to now pull my weight by doing more work
More to sustain.
to
Yeah.
right to
To balance it
offset
out. Yeah.
and balance the fact that I'm
Yeah.
not bringing as much as you.
Okay.
Right? When you talk about romantic relationships, before you decide to take the next step, you need to have those conversations because the same way you will sit and have a conversation with friends of this business, what vision do we have for it? You need to have that conversation in your relationship. What vision do we have for our life? You know, what does financial stability, what does generational wealth look like for our home? All of those conversations because you don't want to get married, then you know you both well, I don't miss road though. Like you guys are not going the same way.
And honestly, there's one thing I think as a society, and I say this as blacks, Africans, all that stuff. We need to be comfortable. We need to stop being comfortable to talk about money with friends. The reason I say this and why I'm always like talking about the breadcrumbs and things like that is you could be experiencing something.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, out of all my friends, I feel like it's only one of them she sits down and she talks to me about, hey, I met up with my financial advisor. This is what, and I can learn so much
Mhm.
from what the person is experiencing.
Mhm.
I could learn so much from little conversations.
Yeah.
Why don't we as a society empower each other? Like, why is this such a hush thing? It's,
Taboo.
you know what I mean? Like recently, if you've noticed, there's this thing about like salary transparency that's going on
That's
all
not
over the
really
world.
transparent. It's another buzzword in 2026.
But moving aside from that, why do we as a collective, and I say collective as like black people, why don't
Why are
we?
you whispering it?
I'm just like, why don't we if we learn something, why are we not eager to
Shit.
teach the other person?
Mhm.
What? Not yeah, exactly. Teach might be a strong word. Why are not? Why are we not like eager to share our experiences? Hey, guys, there's this ETF. This is the MER on it. This is the management expense ratio. That's what the MER stands for. This one looks. This is how it's been doing well for me. You should look into it. It might be something you're into. Oh my God, if your risk appetite is not this good, why is it always when we meet up, it's jollof rice, fried rice, coleslaw, and chicken? Why are we always doing this? I don't understand.
It's a cultural thing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have worked at an organization where um, one of the coworkers that trained me, and the reason why I say it's a cultural thing, even me that can sit and we have money conversation, it made me uncomfortable.
Interesting.
So we were discussing because the thing with me is any company I go into, I need to know what my growth looks like. I need to start calculating how many years I'm going to be here or months. I don't have time to waste. I have other things that I'm working on. So I need to know how is this place going to serve me and for how long. So I was having that conversation with her in a more strategic way, just kind of poking around of tenure of people, kind of what their growth has been in the company, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't even ask her. So she's telling me or answering my questions I'm asking her. And she now straight up asked me, she's like, all right, if you want to be a senior PM, this is how much the company is paying. Or if you want to stay in the senior PM position, this is how much the company is paying. If you want to be a senior PM/team lead, this is how much the company is paying. Annually, maybe this is the percentage that they might give you internally
It's your
if they're not even profit sharing, but like if they're promoting you
oh,
internally
okay.
even like vertically, if you're going from one, like if I go transition from a PM to a product owner,
Okay.
right? This is what the salary might
Look
be.
like yeah.
She's like, all right, it depends on what else you have going on in your life. She's like, you can stay within the PM team. However, I personally would not want to be promoted to a senior PM because the salary difference is X amount. But the work and the expectations and the responsibilities is X amount.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm comfortable here. And you've told me that you have other things that you have going on in your life. If I were you, I will stay here for as
Mhm.
long as possible because there's maybe a $5,000 to $10,000 difference annually. And is that much work for
Worth
that little
it?
money worth it for you? And as she's busting out numbers, she's saying this, she's saying that, and this is again, you and I talk money. I was sitting there uncomfortable.
Really?
And this was a white woman having this conversation with me. And that's why I say it is a cultural thing.
I
We
would
have
kiss
made
the ground she
money.
works on. I'm not even
We
kidding.
have made money this taboo and uncomfortable situation. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying. I think it was a show I heard it from. Somebody gave somebody, it's black people, Africans. Somebody gave somebody money. And the person started counting the money in front of the person who gave it to
Oh.
them. And the immediate response was, put that away. Why are you behaving like a prostitute?
There's so many levels of discomfort in that whole thing.
And the point behind it was it's prostitutes who are so bold and brazen to be counting money and not be shy about it in front of people in the open because money is supposed to be, hush hush. You cover it. Not the same when your yam is white. That's when you don't take it, right? So for that's why I say for this Caucasian woman to be there having, I think I was there maybe 2 weeks, my second week. I was just trying to strategically plan my growth within the company. Sister was giving me figures, percentages, like,
And you see, and that's your experience till date.
mhm,
I'm not even kidding. When I talk about ETFs,
yeah,
there's an ETF, and this is not professional like advice or anything. VFV.
mhm,
I was struggling with trying to invest in a particular ETF in the US.
yeah,
And there's this whole thing about converting, it's a whole conversation. Anyway, this is minutes before a meeting I had. My colleague showed up early and he just goes, and we were just casually having the conversation. He's like, yeah, have you ever looked into VFV? Do you know that since that conversation till today, 80% of my investments is in VFV? Was a phenomenal, like, I'm not talking. That's not even true because I have told you about VFV. But the point I'm trying to make is casual instances
mhm,
are like snow globe moments for me because to him it meant nothing.
yeah.
It's something he's already experienced it. He was already invested
And is
in it.
not taking anything from his personal investments to tell you.
But I have learned. It's more like how like I don't want to say distilled wine, but he pretty much took essence from all that knowledge. He just distilled something that was like a serum, like something so pure. And he gave it away without even understanding how much it meant to me. Like,
Yeah, he did not feel the need to gatekeep.
do you know what I mean? Like, it's not gatekeeping. He's sharing from his knowledge, and boom,
Mhm.
that money conversation,
Was
the
profitable for you.
ripple effect is just beyond words.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm like, several occasions as Africans, as Black women, as society, as a collective, we need to start talking about it because you don't know
Yeah,
who's going to learn from what you're
yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
And it should be a casual thing. It doesn't have to be a whole event or presentation. Oh, I'm doing presentations. No, have these conversations. You know what, guys? I invested in an Airbnb. This is the return. This is not making sense. Oh, guys, I went into a multiplex. This is not working. When you're doing casual conversations, but
It allows you to glean off of each other because and in having those conversations, and I think you and I are the perfect example of that. Having those conversations can actually show new opportunities.
100%.
But you rob yourself of that if you feel the need to gate.
And that is it. We rob ourselves as a collective. And we always say, hey, why is this person progressive? Because they are sharing. They are sharing with each other knowledge, understanding, all of that stuff. And that money is such a taboo conversation, but we need to break that down because we are missing out
Mm,
on all that is out there.
sure, sure, sure. Well,
Yeah.
I think I actually want to wrap it up there
Mhm.
because That's a good note to end on. I think for this one, it's not, we've given some great tips throughout, but one thing I would love is I want those of you watching to kind of share with us money wins, money misses in terms of like what Trina was saying, having those conversations. What conversations have you been a part of that opened up amazing opportunities for you? What instances have you been in that the taboo aspect of discussing about money? I want you guys to share that with us. I want to turn this into a conversation, and I realize that if we open up the floor to do that, we can learn a lot from
I
it.
need to learn, please.
Well, yeah,
I need
like
to
I said at the
learn.
top, I love money. I love talking about it. I do, because there's so much you can learn from each other, because having everybody has their own individual experiences
Yeah.
that can be beneficial to so many, and I want us as a community, as a collective, to feel like this is a safe space to share that,
Yeah.
because you don't know if what the person below or the comment below what they say might be the missing piece that you've been missing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So wrapping it up there, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for chatting with us. And we'll see you in
Yeah.
the next one.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye, guys.
I just want to thank you for joining us today on the making of her unapologetically. If this conversation spoke to you, share it with another woman. Share it with a friend. Share it with a hater. Share it with everybody. Share it with every woman who you feel needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss an episode. What Trina and I are doing is we're building a space for real, honest conversations. Conversations that we were having behind closed doors and we now want to have with all of you. And we really feel like your voice is a part of that conversation. So stay connected, join the conversation, and continue growing with us. Until next time, keep becoming her unapologetic.